Well, you became quite famous last year for describing the process as surgical mutilation and sterilisation. Is that still the way you describe it?
Well, the argument, the issue has very much moved on in 12 months' time. There is litigation afoot. We have had the Tavistock exposure and scandal. We have had countries like Finland and Sweden step away from these affirmation pathways for children. There is legislation being put forward in a number of states in the US that has stopped these medical pathways being available to children. And if you take a child that has not gone through puberty and you put them on puberty blockers, they might end up infertile. And certainly if you put them on cross-sex hormones, they end up unable to have children. So that is a statement of fact that I made. And with respect to the surgeries, and they are happening to children, not the youngest child that I've heard of here in Australia is a 15-year-old girl who had a bilateral mastectomy. However, say over in the United States where their medical system is different and it's obviously a for-profit industry, I have heard of girls as young as 14, 13, even 12 having the surgeries, certainly boys under the age of 18 having their genitals removed. And in my view, there is enough evidence out there of photos, of videos of what's been done to children, the stories of the detransitioners, where people are left with all sorts of injuries, infections that they cannot get control of, tissue that's gone necrotic and has to be removed, that under legislation that absolutely could qualify as mutilation, because there is no physical reason to be doing this to people's bodies. This is to do with solving what is essentially what I believe is a psychosocial or mental health issue. So when you're doing this to people's bodies and leaving them disabled or leaving them with lifelong medical problems, I think that terminology, in my view, is correct, albeit confronting, but correct.
Well, you mentioned the closure of the Tavistock clinic in Britain and other countries in Europe stepping away from this, and litigation beginning to gain momentum. But it still does take some courage to speak as plainly about it as you do, and I admire you for it, because you've seen the threats and intimidation that comes from the transgender movement. What's it like to be on the receiving end of that?
It feels like a witch burning. To be honest, when you have said something, statements of fact or an opinion, and, they come after you in such a way that they're attacking everything about you, they're data mining your life, they're trying to discredit you in every way possible, they're going after people who are associated with you, your children, they're threatening your personal safety simply because of an opinion. It's a really extraordinary experience to go through, and it just really highlighted to me, and I've said this many times before, how impoverished our public debate is. And it also highlighted to me the dangers of this movement, because the lengths that they will go to silence those who have legitimate concerns, who have criticisms, who are asking questions. And it just makes me think, what are these people up to? Why are they being allowed to get away with this, and why can't we question it in a liberal democracy?